I'm in a different place. I'm moving forward with my life. I don't need to focus on healing a relationship, but I would be the only one. And that's how it always was, or for, not always, but for many years before, I was the only one. I had this bond with her, and I'm now questioning, why tell me that you want to have a relationship with me and then ghost me for months and months and months?
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Let's go to the topic, guys. Meri Brown made this cryptic post on her Instagram, and I was just contemplating something. Meri Brown pretty much spends most of her time on her TikTok, isn't she? And for a period of time she was going live rather regularly, and she was interacting with the people there. She was doing lives with Sister Wives TikTokers, and for a hot second it seemed like she was going to go out there and basically describe what was happening in her life, you know? And she would respond to questions. I mean, y'all, she responded to questions regarding the Utah investigations. She talked about years of drama between her and Christine. She spilled so much on TikTok, right? And it's a little weird because her recent posts have all been about "I'm not going to drop the tea, that's not what I'm going to do." And then she goes and puts up this cryptic post on her Instagram, and there's something going on behind the scenes because something is aggravating her. Because on one side she's like, I'm going to go onto TikTok and share my side of things, and now she's all, I'm not going to spill the tea.
That Kody could have adopted Robyn's kids being legally married to me.
Okay.
Without her giving up her rights.
Oh, she would have give up her rights. She would have
had to have given them. Yeah, she couldn't have kept her parental rights and Kody adopt them when he was legally married to me.
Okay.
So that's why that was important. And everybody is like, well, no, they didn't have to get legally married.
She did multiple lives with Lee, who is a Sister Wives TikToker. She does tons of other reality-type things on TikTok. I believe she also has a YouTube presence, but Lee interviewed her multiple times. I believe Lee also grew up Mormon, or LDS, so they have like that in common. And Meri clearly trusts her. But she's told Lee a lot. I mean, she explained Kody's divorce from Kody and why she divorced him, because then Robyn would have had to relinquish rights to the kids if Kody wanted to adopt the kids. I mean, she has in interviews discussed their housing situation in Utah and how Christine always had a cluttered home, and Christine insisted that she did not want to give up the basement in there. She has flat out talked about the Utah investigation, alleging repeatedly, although it's untrue, that they were going to arrest them, which the Utah officials never indicated that they would be arresting them. She has done a lot of going back in the past and having tea, right, and she's even talked about her arguments about Christine talking about her relationship with David, all that. So it was puzzling to people when then she just a few weeks ago put this on her TikTok.
And my journey enough to not spill the tea. I feel like in order to keep my own peace and to stick to my integrity in the whole situation, I'm not going to spill the tea, but that doesn't mean there's not tea to be spilled. I'm just choosing not to, you know? That's really important.
She also did videos on, just because she has been divorced and mourned over her divorce doesn't mean that she should tell other individuals how to mourn or advise them. And in the comments, folks were like, that's okay if that's what you think, but you shouldn't shame Christine and Janelle if they wish to share their side of things. And the timing of it, even to folks in the comments, seemed weird because this was all being released sort of at the same time that Christine on her socials was beginning to post audio recordings of herself speaking about and reading from her book. And Christine's book releases in like 2 weeks. And so people just kind of thought she was passively aggressively shaming the other women for doing things differently than she was doing, and then claiming she wasn't going to spill the tea. And then she actually spills the tea. Here's another example.
One day, and she's like, all right, we need to talk about, because we both knew that Janelle would have the other side because it was bigger and she had more kids, you know what I mean? Yeah. And that made sense. But she and I talked about it, and she's like, she called me. I was at work. She's like, all right, we need to talk about this. She says, I want the downstairs. I'm like, you want the downstairs? The upstairs is bigger. And like, I knew how she felt about being in the downstairs, And I'm like, why do you want the downstairs? And she said, because it's got more bedrooms. But I said, but there's smaller bedrooms. And she says, I know, but because of how many kids I have, and, they were all girls except for for Peyton, you know, she's like, I just feel like that this is going to work better for me. I'm like, oh, and then she goes, and besides that, she says, you know, I don't like to keep my house clean. she goes, she says, you always have your living room clean. And if people are going to come to the front door, it's going to be your front door.
That she's done a lot of interviews. That's all I'm saying. I don't really care so much that she's doing the interviews. And I think it's okay that she gives information and answers questions and does these lives with these content creators on TikTok. I think it's great. If it provides her with a platform to present her version of what happened in a manner that she is comfortable, okay? On TikTok, folks were not vibing with what she was doing lately. So, I'll just so you know. I don't want you to think that I'm inventing this, but someone commented, I respect that, but everyone has their own healing journey. It's not right to suspect everyone's integrity for having another path. It's not right to say that if Christine or Janelle have their story told then they don't have integrity. I believe the three of you had a very traumatic experience and each journey and each of you should be able to share whatever you're comfortable with sharing and not judge each other if you heal differently, which Meri appreciated. But the videos were clearly being felt like these were, being targeted at the sister wives. And another comment was to each their own. Christine and Janelle can certainly tell their side of things just the way they wish to, too. They are all good, strong women and shouldn't be ashamed either way. Then someone replied, I think, and I may be mistaken, that this is somehow defending Kody. She appeared to take her anger out on her fellow sister wives, rather than him. So, whatever is happening there, that's kind of the vibe, is that folks believe she's doing these videos because she's indirectly calling out and shaming what Christine is going to be doing with this book. Okay. And of course, there's going to be something in this book that I believe is agitating her. I really don't believe that she's perhaps doing this on purpose. And if one of her friends is saying Meri's not discussing Christine when she's doing this video stuff, but I do believe that maybe people would be asking her, are you going to write a book? What do you think about writing a book? Right? Responding to what they're watching on the internet, right? Or to inform her that she still guards Kody and Robyn, whatever it is. But with Christine's book releasing and knowing that in the first book, Becoming Sister Wives, Christine actually talked very openly about her arguments with Meri regarding the way that Meri used to discipline her children and the arguments that they would have, and how at one time or another she directed Meri to leave her children alone and not treat them so poorly, not attempt to discipline them in the manner that she didn't approve of. All right. And if you forgot, McKeely actually created a video which she uploaded on her Patreon.
To discount my siblings' experiences with her though. I don't remember Meri ever being physically abusive to me. She was very emotionally and verbally abusive to all of us when we were younger, until I think we got old enough and she stopped because, I don't know, we were able to fight back or something, I guess. We were just too old for her to continue. I honestly think I got the brunt of it. I think that, and my siblings have told me multiple times that they think that I did receive the worst that she gave. However, I think that we were all affected by her. Now as adults, her and I do both sell LuLaRoe, which is a clothing company. So from time to time, in the professional sense, we do cross each other. We don't really interact, but we're cordial. She's not, nor will she ever be, part of my life, nor my husband's or my kids' lives, because of the trauma I've experienced as a child growing up.
McKelty is just one of the children who have leveled such allegations against Meri. Gwendolyn reported having seen Meri physically attack at least once with McKelty, but McKeely claims she doesn't recall. And that video was recorded after Gwendolyn reported having seen Meri attack McKeely one time, and that's when McKeely posted that video. So take it for what it is. Mr. Payton also explained that her abuse extended well beyond verbal abuse, and Maddie referred to her as a monster and an abuser. Alright, we all carry things around in our past. It's trauma. And I do see that the adult children now have room to express how they feel. We understand that many times the trickle-down in polygamy translates into the women taking things out on the other kids that aren't their own or the other women. So recently, in amidst all this talk, Meri just posted this. When the storm blows in, you discover pretty quickly who your warriors are. This week has been a flat chateau. You know the weeks, the ones that hit you from all sides. Accusations, heartbreak, frustration, errors, chaos that just won't stop. The kind of week that believes it's going to destroy you. Spoiler alert, it did not. This group here, this small group of fierce and unapologetic women, we're not gonna let that happen. These are my people, my ride or die folks. We laugh and weep together. We've got each other's backs and we'll stand shoulder to shoulder when the world comes to knock us down. We will ride at dawn for one another without hesitation because showing up for one another is what we do. These women are not just friends. They are warriors. They are therapists. They are truth tellers. They are soul healers and solution strategists. They are crime partners who do not shy away from the mess or bolt from the store. They lean in. They show up. They clap arms together and remind both me and them who the hell they are and what the hell they can do. I'm blessed, grateful, and beyond speech. And the world, when the world seems to be burning, these are the types of women you want on your side, and I'm happy they're mine. So, I don't know what that's about. I know that she wrote this at the same time that Christine's also writing about she can't believe that she has enough courage to write and publish her book. I have no idea what sort of accusations that Meri has been receiving or frustrations or heartbreaks or upsets. Something's going on in the background, it would seem. I don't know what, but she's obviously struggling with something. And I've seen that when Meri tends to handle things in the past, she attributes it and then tells and reminds everyone that, you know what, I have real people who care for me and these are my people. And I'm really, really, really happy that she has friends. I have seen that there's been an increase in posts regarding her within Sister Wives Reddits, on comments for the TikTok, on discussions. Everybody's bringing up accusations of child abuse. And I don't know if that's what she's referring to, but it's becoming heavier of a subject the closer the book gets released for Christine. And the only thing that I can really say for Meri is that this is probably going to be difficult for her. She may be afraid, and I'm guessing here, but it's obvious that I believe she has a fear of what's coming out. I believe she's attempting to be ahead of whatever it is and just reminding people of this is what she has, which is okay. But I do feel like it's worth it that if there is going to be something written about her in that book that you do know I feel like she has spent a lot of time working on redoing her life which is reasonable, redressing her life, healing her trauma, acknowledging her own trauma from childhood, from her marriage, acknowledging that she was a very strict mom, discussing that more on her TikTok recently. It's clearly on her mind and the only thing that came to my head when I read that and they said we're not just friends, they're warriors, they're therapists, blah blah blah, they have my back ride or die. Not all of them had their kids raised by Meri. Okay? And it's a whole different scenario where if you ever were a family with somebody and somebody, the woman, might have abused your children, okay? And it's one thing to have ride or die homies who have never experienced that, okay? It's a whole different scenario than to kind of switch it around and make it seem like, well, whatever is going on over there is in the past. I don't know if she fears what's going to be exposed. There is something that has occurred with these children that they are not talking about that they have been concealing that Peyton has mentioned once the show is finished he will reveal because it would end the show. He has said it has to do with Meri. There's something in her background that she's overcompensating on after spending so much time dishing tea and I don't know what's going to occur here. I loathe seeing this type of fragmentation. I loathe watching cults disintegrate like this and then when individuals emerge, abused persons become abusers and children are always the ones that get targeted the most. And it's, you know, even though the abuse begins at the top, it like trickles down and then no one wants to accept responsibility. And I think that fear of that responsibility, that's like staring in her face right now. And I think people are catching on to that in the comments. And there's been a lot more buzz about that on social media. And if I were Meri and I was being accused of such things, would just face it directly honestly. Even if it cost me everything, even if it cost me followers, even if it cost me deals or my business began to tank, at least I would be true to it because I think folks online react to the fact that she never mentions it and that irks them. And then the children are interviewed and therein individuals say, well, I don't know if it's true. And that is a dreadful place to be if you are someone who has been abused. That's not to say that there are not other abusive people in this family. But I believe that Meri's taking a great deal of time being greatly bothered. And I don't know what it is that she's intimidated by, but since Christine's book is being released, I'm certain that it has something to do with it. So, what do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a like. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're not yet subscribed and click the bell so you never miss a video. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye, guys.